coming today. Means a lot to our family, and for everybody who sent messages during the last few weeks. Really appreciate it. As family, we're not really that great at public speaking, so just bear with us today. The whole family's taking part, and we'll stumble and we'll make a few mistakes, but just bear with us if you don't mind. Mum would be scundered by this. She didn't like a fuss being made about her, but I hope today it's okay to talk about her and how wonderful she was to everybody and the impact she had on so many people. We were lucky enough to spend some time, good quality time with her before she passed away, and as hard as that was, it was nice to be able to talk to her, and she could plan today as well. So we've all got our instructions. Mum lived for 88 years and she experienced a lot during that time. It's really impossible to sum it up in a few words. I'll forget something or wish I had said something else. It's really, you'll miss some important bits. But in the short time we have today, I hope we can do her justice and celebrate her life. As I was thinking about today, I thought a phrase kept coming up, and it's called a life well lived. It's perhaps normal at a funeral you talk about somebody's life, their career, their jobs, things they've achieved, qualifications and various other things. But when it comes to Mum, it just feels a little bit different. So I'm going to defer to the great modern day poet, Ed Sheeran, who can sum it up a bit better than me. He said, "A life with love is a life that's been lived." I think that's the real theme of Mum's life. Last Christmas, Mum and Dad got a book from her grandkids. I should have brought it actually. I just talked about little stories and asked them questions about their life. And I went through some of those with Mum when she was in hospital. And I'm going to lean a little bit on those today, some of her answers. She had a question, one of the questions was, what are your values? And she said, "I get pleasure from doing kind things for people without any expectation of recognition." And that's really what she did. She had this impact on people that everybody she met, no big grand gestures, just quietly spreading kindness and love. And if you think of Mum today, maybe just reflect on some of those. Hopefully it'll make you smile, and it would definitely make her very happy. So I have a few examples today of a life with love. Her family. So Mum and Dad were married for 56 years, and they really were life partners. Throughout their years, I think they embodied their wedding vows, for better, for worse, in sickness and in health, and to love and to cherish. She was a wonderful mum to Evan and I, and dealt bravely with the breaking of her heart when my brother died. Ooh, I knew that would get me. She's a loyal and loving sister to her little brother, Uncle Trevor, who sadly passed away a few years ago. She was a granny to Dane and Kira and Emily. She took so much joy in their company, and she was so proud of everything that they achieved. She was a great granny to Orla and Elia, and when she was in hospital, she would get videos from them, and her face just would light up with joy. We're going to show some photos during the music today, and you'll see her surrounded by her family. That really was a life of love. Her playgroup. My mum loved children. She helped set up and run a playgroup in Hillsborough, and it ran for like 30 years. Some of her friends are here today. In those days, it wasn't a big commercial venture. It was all she got was like the bus fare to Hillsborough and back. But she did it because her and her friends loved kids. And when we were looking through some of the photographs in preparation for today, you would see these lovely pictures of groups of kids all together, smiley, happy faces. Many generations in Hillsborough learnt nursery rhymes, sang songs, listened to stories, visited nature, fed animals, got their hands muddy, cut their knees, had tasty snacks. They cried, they laughed, they all had tantrums, surrounded by the love of my mum and her colleagues. And in my younger days, like I walked through Lisburn or Hillsborough, like my mum was a celebrity. She was this grumpy kid, grumpy teenager at the bus stop would say, Mrs. Brew, I remember you from playgroup. And then her favourite was if she would meet a mother and daughter who both went to playgroup, like many years apart, you know, and she'd remember all their names and tell a few stories. I think she had an impact on all these people's lives. Her sandwiches. Probably not many people talk about sandwiches at a funeral, but when you see some of the photos shortly, you'll see these pictures of random sandwiches. And that's not a mistake. Anyone who knows me knows I love my food. And as Brews, we were really, really spoilt. We loved a good sandwich. It was the freshest bread, nice butter, the latest relish from Green's Food Fair, like roast beef, prawns, chicken, and my favourite, which was the soft cheese and grape. It wasn't just the sandwich, though. You get like a sprinkling of crisps at the side. You get a really hot cup of tea, and then our little treat, which was like a Rocky Road or a chocolate brownie. It was class. My dad has an allotment, and every visit he was sent off at his packed lunch, made by Mum. And such was the quality of the packed lunch that he would have a tea break, he'd have a first lunch, he'd then have a mid-morning break, a second lunch, and then an afternoon snack. So he didn't get any work done in his allotment because he was eating all the time. As she got older, her health started to fail, but she still loved making us sandwiches. She'd have to sit down, take a break. But they were really important to her because she got so much pleasure from them. Because she knew we enjoyed them, and we knew that we loved them. They were made with love. They were more than just a sandwich, so I had to represent them today. Her arts and her crafts was another big part. So some of the photos you'll see, there'll be little cards, handmade cards, or little cross stitches. And when people knew Mum wasn't well, we got a lot of messages about those. It's really another nice way that she showed her kindness. As soon as she knew anyone was getting married, having a baby, a christening, or pretty much any reason really, I would come to craft set, and she'd start working her little piece of art or craft, and then after about 3 or 4 weeks, a lovely little card would arrive on somebody's doorstep with to mark the occasion. If you're really lucky now, you got a cross stitch. And if you've received one of those, it's a real treasure. Within minutes of the birth of any child in my social circle, I got a phone call, age, weight, or not age, date of birth, weight, name, so she had to complete everything. So when you think today like about all the instant messages and everything that goes so fast, she took time, she prepared those and sent them with love. So if you have one, have a look at it again today and remember it, and the love that went into it. She connected with people, and it's funny, when we were talking on the way in there, she had a knack of being able to connect with people because she had a genuine interest in them, made people feel like they mattered. And when I say anyone, it was anyone. The lady in the Greens food till, she knew her. The taxi man who gave her a lift home from Lisburn, he knew him. The girls who worked in Carnbrooks farm shop, she knew them. She could literally go on. She would remember names, birthdays, what their kids did, where they'd been on holiday. And as her health was failing, she had sort of reluctantly agreed to get carers into the house. She really didn't want that. She was very proud. But before long, she knew them. She knew their life. She knew their stories. And before now, they wouldn't just come in and out. They would sit down with her and have a chat and put the world to right. Even in the hospital, she knew all the names and family histories of the staff who looked after her. You know, we would go and visit and would have to usher the staff out because they'd be sitting talking to her in the hospital. It was really one of her best traits. She loved a good chat. So I'm just going to finish. I give lots of more examples of her life well lived, and I guess I'm a bit biased because obviously I'm her son. But we got a lot of messages from other people just in the past week or so. One of my brother's friends, as teenagers, they used to practice in the garage in Ruskin Park. And he sent a message, thank you for supplying endless cups of teas and biscuits to the Egypts and making a racket in your garage in Ruskin Park. Most of all, thank you for always making me feel like I mattered. From my cousin Denise, Charlie's kept all her specially made birthday and Christmas cards. They come out every year on the special occasions. From Colleen, he visited my mum quite regularly. A wonderful lady who can just make everyone feel special and cared for. From Becky, her daughter-in-law, who can't be here today, unfortunately. Best mother-in-law and granny, you've been my constant source of love and kindness. For thoughtful gifts on every shelf in my house, you have a remarkable ability to make everyone feel special and loved. From Kira, I've never met anyone so kind-hearted. You just knew all the little things that made you feel special and cared for. From my wife, Ingrid, your courage and kindness inspire me every day. We're truly thankful for the love and devotion you've shown Emily and our family. Really lovely sentiments. Mum requested some specific music to be played today, so we're going to play a short hymn. Now, we're not great singers, the Brew family, so we're just going to play the music to avoid any embarrassment. And you'll see some pictures come up on the screen. Hopefully my words today give them a bit of context, especially if you see the random sandwiches in the middle of it. Listen to the music, look at the pictures, feel free to reflect on Mum's quiet acts of kindness. In her own words, she didn't expect or look out for recognition for what she did, but today it's appropriate to give her thanks for what she did. Thanks.
with me. In Lisbon town and Donegal air, you spread your kindness everywhere. A heart so vast, a soul so true, our world shone brighter thanks to you. If once we said we liked to treat, you filled your cupboard sweet on sweet. Not just in gifts, but in your way, you gave us love to brighten our day. After sea swims, cold and bright, you wrapped us up, made all things right, with doorstopper sandwiches and laughter too, special moments made go by you. You knew each face along the street, you stopped to talk, made strangers meet, a gentle thread you wove us through, the fabric strong because of you. Now heaven lights shine soft and clear, we feel your presence still so near. In every way. I did so well. In skies of blue, we hold your love tight, dear Granny Brew.
Right, well, don't expect me to speak as eloquently as Colin, but I'll do my best. When I think of Granny Brew, or Valerie, the first words that comes to mind is love. She was without question the most loving person I've ever met. She gave love so freely to so many people, and she gave it without expectation. Most of my happiest core childhood memories have her in them. Even though we didn't get to see each other all the time, every visit felt like something special. She had a way of turning the simplest day into a memory that lasted. She was so strong too. She'd faced more than her share of hardship, yet somehow never allowed it to harden her. Her strength showed in her kindness, her patience and her loyalty. Whether it was her pride in Colin or a constant patience she showed with my dad, no matter how troubled he was, she never turned her back. It just wasn't in her nature. We used to go on holidays to Donegal when we were kids, and this is, as Kira will probably tell you as well, one of my favourite memories. We used to jog down to the sea, and it's Baltic Sea, My granddad would come out, his fingers would be white, and we'd jog back, and my gran would be waiting with a warmth and a bacon egg sodas piled high, and that was the theme with Granny Brew, warmth and love. No one cared like she did. And I can't not mention a memory. I cannot mention how good her memory was. Even towards the end, she'd tell you the maiden name of such and such a grandmother, or the first pet, what school they went to. And those security questions you get when you're locked out of your email, she could probably answer half of the people's ears, and I can't even remember mine. But without doubt, the heart of her life was Grandad. What they had is the kind of love we all wish to experience, but few ever do. When she was in hospital last month, she asked Kira to look for something in her room. It was where she kept love letters from Grandad from the 60s. Kira made a joke, and my gran smiled, and she said something that's really stuck with me. David doesn't need to prove his love to me, he's done it a million times since. And that line says a lot. She loved fiercely, she loved faithfully, and never doubted she was loved in return. So yesterday is a sad day, and we're all feeling the loss of the great Valerie Brew. But there is comfort in knowing that we got to experience her love, her warmth and her humour. We are the lucky ones, those who had the privilege of knowing her, of calling her family, of calling her Granny Brew. A truly great woman. Thank you for everything, Granny. Rest easy now.
Day is long and the night is yours alone. When you're sure you've had enough of this life, hang on. Don't let yourself go. 'Cause everybody cries, everybody hurts sometimes. Sometimes everything is wrong. Now it's time to sing along. When your day is night, hold on, hold on. If you feel like letting go, if you think you've had too much of this life, well, hang on. 'Cause everybody hurts. Take comfort in your friends. Everybody hurts. Don't throw your hand. Don't throw your hand. Feel like you're alone. No, 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 you're not alone. If you're on your own in this life, the days and nights are long. When you think you've had too much of this life, to hang on. Well, everybody hurts, but sometimes everybody cries. Everybody hurts sometimes. Every
Good night, Granny Brew. Lord, keep us safe and sound, secure from all our fears. Make angels guard us while we sleep till morning like a piss.
Do not stand by my grave and weep. I am not there, I do not sleep. And 1,000 winds that blow, I am the diamond glints in the snow, and the sunlight on ripened grain, I am the gentle autumn rain. As you wake with morning hush, I am the swift uplifting rush. I am of quiet birds in circling flight, I am the day transcending night. Do not stand by my grave and cry, I am not there, I did not die. I love you, Granny.
In the hospital, the palliative nurse, I suppose, trying to break the ice, spoke to Valerie about her marriage, and her honeymoon, and Valerie remembered the honeymoon. She remembered going to Westport in the white sports car. Whenever I could get it working, which wasn't always, but we toured Ireland and we went to most corners of Ireland, but we gravitated towards Donegal. And I think that began her affection for Donegal. We had some great times there. Of course, the white sports car had to go whenever we had a family, and bringing up the family. Well, actually, Valerie mostly brought up the family while I was absent doing career things. But of course, she poured her heart into that role of bringing up a family. And we had some great holidays with our sons. But obviously the sports car had to go, but that was just one of those things. But once the sons had moved on to their own lives, Valerie was again drawn to Donegal, and she saw an ad in the paper for accommodation, and we ended up going to a place called Marble Hill, and we stayed in the outhouses and cottages around Marble Hill House, and we went there every year, usually May and September, and it was one of those things that Valerie loved, and whenever we got to our 40th anniversary, she wanted to do something special, and she got the whole family together, and she, whereas we had been staying in the outhouses, which were very basic, she decided that for our 40th anniversary we would rent the big house. So we all went to the big house. Quite a palatial thing, lots of rooms. Maybe not enough for Dean. We had a bit of a thing about getting his own accommodation. And Kira had a bit of a thing about not getting a phone signal for whatever it was she was doing on her mobile phone. But anyway, there was a great photograph. We're all sitting on the steps of Marble Hill House, and I cherish that memory. I think from memory, Evan was holding the recently born Emily, is that right? And that's really a cherished memory. Colin has spoken eloquently of her time in the playgroup, and I can reinforce the dedication and love that she brought to that with her friends. I know there was Miss Hannah, Mrs. Connery, Irene, Elma, who I think is here today, Lila and Jenny, and they bonded together over their mutual love for what they were doing, looking after the kids, and like Colin, Valerie had great pride. She would point out to me from time to time some distinguished doctor or award-winning athlete, and she would say he or she went to the playgroup, and she loved that sense of making a contribution to their lives. Since the playgroup closed, I know one or two of you said this to me as well about time passing, and it seemed to pass very rapidly. But she occupied herself with her craft work, cross stitching, and later, when her dexterity diminished, with making cards, and there was no special occasion passed without intricately constructed card being distributed to friends and neighbours. During that time, a strange thing happened. I never really came to terms with it, but she said at some point that she was quite relieved to get the diagnosis of Parkinson's. I think it was because of her insecurity about what was happening. But once she got the diagnosis, then she knew that there was some prospect of getting some alleviation from the symptoms and treatment for that disease. After so many years, we communicated almost telepathically. We didn't have to say a lot of what we felt. We developed our own language and codes, and knew what each other was thinking most of the time. And she, being a spontaneous person, she would express this while I was thinking over what I should say. She would actually say it. So that spontaneity was enriching, but it sometimes got us into trouble. As she struggled in the later years, we had to rearrange our estimations of her sort of wifely duties and things that she would normally have done as an able-bodied person. So that, for example, whereas she used to go into Lisburn with her great friend Lorna, and do the shopping, and that was her way, of providing for me. And we agreed. We sort of adjusted our values so that instead of going in shopping, she would do a shopping list, and then we would work from there. But we attributed the value of the shopping expedition to the shopping list, so that she felt the importance of that and valued that, as if she had actually gone to the shops. And it was one of the things that I was happy to cooperate with and align. The last year was, this year was really the hospital year. I think around April, May, she had three stays in the hospital, and it was clear towards the end of the one that we weren't going to be able to manage, so we had to face this situation where they were recommending that we had a care package. So Valerie did her best, she did her best to adjust to that, the loss of privacy, the loss of agency. But she coped well, but she did what Valerie did. She she engaged with the carers. So in a strange way, she became a carer of the carers. You know, Nicola wouldn't leave at the end of the week without the bag of potatoes. Natalie, she got a big tin of little figures for her nephew. Then Jodie's daughter was getting married, so Valerie gave her a bag of cosmetics. So you know, she had this charm, this engagement, and made the best of that situation. So on the 26th of August this year, the GP said, "Well, look, Valerie, we really think you need to go to hospital." And despite her protests, that's when she didn't return. She was in the medical assessment unit, I think, maybe 3 weeks, something like that, building up her relationship with the staff, showing pictures of grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and sharing with them her stories and forming a relationship with them. And I think that made it a little easier for her and for us. The warmness with which the staff in the medical assessment unit formed with her. You may have noticed that in both Colin and my words, the words that appear most often are love, devotion, spontaneity, humor, and generosity. I'd like to thank Colin. On his broad shoulders, he has carried me through this and previous traumas. And the love of our grandchildren, Dan, Kira, and Emily, have sustained me. I may never have formally thanked my sister Joan, who introduced me to Valerie, and who then became my lifetime companion and the love of my life.
Good night, Granny Brew. Lord, keep us safe and sound, secure from all our fears. Make angels guard us while we sleep till morning like a bears. Amen.